What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with your boy. We got a whole WNBA slate for y'all, man. First off, Caitlin Clark and those Indiana Fever picked up their first home win, and she did her thing, and we heard some regards from some comments, some remarks from her head coach. On top of that, Angel Reese is calling out shooting shots on Twitter, man, because of just the disrespect of two WNBA players being called trans by a Twitter user because they're tall, they're black, and they're strong. I don't know if that's the only reason, but that is three characteristics that we can describe it as. On top of that, the WNBA announced some major news. We have expansion coming. But before we get into all that, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. Join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Caitlin Clark picked up her first home win with the Indiana Fever. It was a group effort, and Clark, you know what I'm saying, she did her thing. Clark finished with 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in the W. She did shoot 4 of 12 from the field, and we've seen, like in college even, where she shot Iowa out of some games when she's a volume shooter. We gotta admit, like, she's a volume shooter, and they're trying to get her to be more efficient from the field. This obviously wasn't her most efficient shooting night, but I think she did enough to just elevate her team. Coach Christy Sod spoke about just the shot selection and trying to maybe tweak and break Caitlin Clark of some of those habits she had at Iowa when she had the ultimate green light.
Caitlin, she took 2 2-pointers in the first preseason game, 3 today. Is there a balance? What are you seeing that's kind of causing that? Is there a balance you'd like to see with that, or is that something you plan to address?
Yeah, I think she's used to some shots that she's taken in the last few years that are just those deep shots, and I don't know if there's times she comes off ball screens where she's open in that long 2 area, and we've got to get her comfortable taking that long 2. She's going to get looks. She's going to get open looks. She's got to figure out, like I gave her a rule the other day, she's got 0.5 seconds to make a decision. When she gets off the ball and she hits one of our high posts and somebody in the high post, she has a habit of hanging out and dancing. That's what she's done. It's these habits that we've got to break. She's got players around her now that she can get out, she can go screen, and the ball's going to get back to her. And that's what she hasn't had in the past, so that's what we've been trying to show her and explain to her.
Now, Clark is still a rookie, so there's going to be growth, there's going to be growing pains, and they just have to allow her to play through it. But overall, she's got a good feel for the game. She's attacking the cup, she's being aggressive, she's knocking down three-pointers, she's been able to create space. People said that she wouldn't be athletic enough, quick enough, crafty enough to create space against the WNBA defenders, and she's doing that. Her profile alone has really raised the WNBA to new heights. We know that, Jersey sold out, multi-million deal with Nike, multi-million-dollar deal with Nike, signature shoe loading. Like, we know what she's doing for the league. She's bringing eyes and turning fans that were not watching any WNBA basketball into WNBA fans. So we have to salute her for that. It's not just Caitlin Clark, but people are talking about the impact that she's had along with other superstars who have kicked the door open. Clark is helping, though, to elevate this thing to new levels that we've never seen before.
I think a lot of people, and shout out to Caitlin because I love what she's doing to the game. People always talk about I think it was Debbie Antonelli that called it the Clarkonomics, right? Mm-hmm. People talk about trickle down. We should call it trickle up when it comes to where women's basketball is because the rising tide lifts all boats. But I want to make sure people understand this clearly. Charter flights were always in the matrix. They were always in the design. Expansion were always in the design. The moment has arrived where the investment matches finally us being able to put these ideas to fruition. It wasn't just Caitlin Clark. There was precedent set from 2020, the last CBA, where we were trying to walk before we run. And I'm just glad that the timing matches because the investment, it took years to get to this point.
That was my point. You've got investment, you have eyes, you have WNBA hype based on WNBA fans that have been watching this league, and now you have Caitlin coming in bringing an entirely new audience to celebrate what the WNBA has built itself to be. So it is two great things. The WNBA being where it is, the talent level that it is. The Aces are just repeat back-to-back champions. Any of these new fans that are coming to watch Caitlin compete against the Aces, they're going to fall in love with the Aces. It's two big things meeting each other.
Remember,
it's a moment.
Revenue was around $60 million in 2020. It's now $200 million. So the idea that this is all happening because of Caitlin Clark, no. The revenue has been doubling for years. The investment has been there. And now the changes are fully being enacted. And she's bringing even more.
It's amazing.
It is the perfect storm. It is really, I mean, for things to become as significant as this feels like it's about to, you need a lot of forces to line up. And one of them is timing. And to your point, it feels like this was exactly the time for someone like Curtis step in and bring all these new casual fans into the tent, into
icing
the
on the
party,
cake,
as maybe only she can.
It's spectacular to see, and I think she deserves all the praise, the hype, the attention that she's getting, and I think everything's lining up for her to be a superstar in this league for a long time coming. She will figure it out. She'll keep getting better with experience and reps. We have to remember she is a rookie, just like everybody else, and there's going to be growing pains, and they just have to allow her to play through those mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, one Twitter user fired off a tweet that is causing all types of backlash, y'all, in the WNBA community. So Bankroll Von Ski tweeted out after they had this video up, the Dallas Wings just, showing off their player, getting some engagement, and he says they letting trans in the WNBA. Then the fact check, you can see these are both biological black women, number 21 being Kalani Brown, and number 15 being Tierra McCowan. False rumors about black women are extremely damaging. And then Angel Reese came out and said, y'all never seen black tall women that are fine? ? Y'all so weird and insecure, and it shows. And we talking about like two very accomplished college players making it to the WNBA. Like, this is so disrespectful, man. It's slander. It's Bush League. It's yellow journalism at its finest. It's just terrible. It's fake news. And it sparked a lot of outrage, man. And I think it was just beyond disrespectful. Shout out to Angel Reese for coming out and speaking up. She's never been one shy to use her platform, her mega platform, to call out wrongs, to call out shortcomings, and I think she was right on par with this one, man. It was disrespectful. And the WNBA players go through so much scrutiny, man, that we see. And it's honestly tweets like this that are disgusting, to be honest with you. But it seems like they took it in stride. And shout out to the league just for being supportive. Players, coaches, the league's social media pages have come out and defended these two players, and shout out to them, because it's this type of ignorance that adds to that false narrative, that stigma in the WNBA, that it's a bad brand and they're not promoting players and they're just letting people play and all this other nonsense, man. It's sickening what these players have to go through, man. But I think they took it with stride. Shout out to Angel Reese, being a rookie, being a young woman of color that is not afraid to speak her mind. We've seen her, continue to just be very, very passionate about her on the court performances. We've seen her 2 back-to-back double-digit scoring games, 9 rebounds in 1. She's passing the rock. She's showing an advanced skill set, and she's also at the Met Gala and just showing her appreciation for the game and paying it forward, man. But shout out to these two players that were wrongly accused, wrongly disrespected, and they're just out here trying to get engagement, trying to live their best life and play basketball, man. And I know we've talked about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark in the big news, but the major news, and I'm not saying it's just because of them, because the league has been growing in popularity, but we know now that there is an expansion coming and that there will be a WNBA team coming to Toronto in the near future. So Toronto has been awarded a WNBA expansion team. They will be led by billionaire Larry Tannenbaum and Kilmer Sports Inc. Incorporated. The franchise is expected to launch play in 2026 and will play at the Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto. major news, and we've heard from the commissioner in the WNBA about expansion, specifically trying to get to that 18-team mark.
Our plan and goal is to get to 16 teams in the next few years. So we're at 13 with the Golden State team. Our plan is to get 3 more in the next few years. We're talking to a lot of different cities. I think I've thrown out names before. It's complex because you need arena and practice facility and player housing and all the things. You need committed long-term ownership groups. And so the nice thing is we're getting a lot of calls. We continue to engage with cities. I'll throw some of those out there because I've already thrown them out there. We continue to engage with cities like Philadelphia and Toronto and Portland and Denver and Nashville and South Florida and probably forgetting one. But those are the cities we're talking to. But I mean, just last week we got 2 calls from 2 other cities, and these can either take a very long time to negotiate or can happen pretty quickly if you find the right ownership group with the right arena situation. So we're on our way to 16. That will add 48 roster spots in just a couple of years. That in a league of 144 is a lot, so that's 30%. And I think it'll be great when we get those done over the next couple years. So 26 is definitely our goal for certainly the next one. And then shortly thereafter, if not then, or the year or 2 after. So by 28, I'd say I feel pretty confident we'll be at 16 teams.
I think this expansion is great news for the league. I mean, we see how the Toronto Raptors have been accepted, appreciated, celebrated. They've brought a championship to the league. Drake's all bought in. So we see how much this community and this country as a whole and this city loves basketball. So I think this is a perfect move for the WNBA. I'd like to see the Comets come back in Houston. I'd like to see the Charlotte Sting come back in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know that there's been petitions going around trying to bring these teams back. There's been interest from the likes of Beyonce, possible, I ain't gonna say interest, but hey, Asia Wilson, the MVP of the league, the best player in the league of the championship aces, trying to get Beyonce interested. Serena Williams has expressed serious interest in owning a WNBA team. The sponsorships are starting to pour in. They have the charter flights for the players to travel effectively. The NBA is booming right now, man, and it's exciting to see this league grow because they've had a great product for years. They've had a lot of talent, and they play a great brand of basketball, man. So it's exciting to see the expansion. I can't wait to see what other states or countries, for that matter, get a chance to have a WNBA team. But going to 18 teams will be exceptional. We see so much talent getting cut and having to go overseas to play. I mean, there's so much of an influx of talent coming from the college game, and a lot of these vets are holding on to these spots. So we just need to create more opportunities to keep this talent to influx into the league, man. So I'm excited to see the expansion. I'm excited to see the league continue to grow. I'm excited to see them build around these superstars. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments about the expansion, about the Caitlin Clark news, about the Angel Reese news stepping up and speaking out. Holler at your boy. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.